Good morning from Providence Farmstead. It's a little bit cloudy fall morning, early fall. Still a little warm, but a little bit cooler this morning at least. We're supposed to be back up in the 90s in the next couple of days, which we are so done with. But what do you do? So I wanted to pop in this morning and give you an update on the fall garden and talk to you a little bit about prayer and dreams and hopes and conundrums. So stay tuned. What was that? A few days ago, Matt ate my hose with the bush hog on accident. He was going to put the tractor up at night and had the bush hog running and totally ate my hose. So I finally went and got some new hoses yesterday, but I can't get the whole hose attachment off the spigot because I can't find any channel locks. That's the way it usually goes though. You can't find the tools when you need the tools. So in the garden, we are starting to clean up. There's still a lot of cleaning up to do. Every time I say I'm going to get the tomatoes done tomorrow, it's a week later and we start working on them again. I do need to pull the rest of the watermelon out and be done with the watermelon. We have these late tomatoes that are sort of coming on. They're not doing real super hot. I don't know how much we'll get off of them. I do see one that's probably about ready down there. The noodle beans, I only had like 2 of them. And it's really just not enough to do much with. So I've just been letting them go. I'm not too stressed about it. I do have some other beans that I was growing. I think these are the butter beans. We'll see what happens. They're still awfully small. We may not get any off of those. It's certainly something I will work a little more on next year because I'd love to be able to have just a few of my own dry beans.
Ready.
What? Looks like something's been eating on the outside of it.
It's a green, black spotted beetle.
Yeah, they're eating everything right now. They are eating my dahlias even. And so, yeah, see how they're eating everything. The green looking, yellow looking ladybugs have just been destroying my garden this fall. So, fun times, guys. If you see them, kill them. So, these are the purple potted pole beans. I would love to get some of these, but as you can see, they have been munched on pretty good. Got lots of laciness here. And yeah, see, there's a different kind of ladybug on that one. I don't know if you can see that, but he is, yep, there's another one there. So we got these too, these little tan ones, black spots. They're eating everything.
Yeah, those are what's eating stuff.
So, but between the two, I'm going to have to start taking them out. We started getting the tomatoes out. There are still a few over there, but we've got almost the 2 rows here done. I'm about done with these peppers too. I'm getting ready to pull them out. These mini bell peppers, they were fun, but honestly, they're just so much hassle. I don't think I'll grow them again.
They're good.
Well, you guys can eat all of them you want to, okay? These green beans are ready to be yanked out. They have been eaten on to the green down here. There is no green anymore. Up there, they're starting to get eaten on too. So they are done.
They're squished. Oh, there's one.
A radish patch. Hey, don't walk in the beets. Back out. These are beets, and I do finally see some coming in, which is good. Everything desperately needs watered because of the hose issue. These are radishes. We have, I think Gabriel was planting these and spilt a big old clump of them. So we have a couple clumps and some crooked lines because it's kind of hard for 9-year-olds to make perfectly straight lines, but that's okay. This is where I'm going to be planting the seedlings here in a little bit. And then I'll put the tunnel hoops up. Nothing is planted here yet. There are some morning glories trying to come in everywhere. And then I gotta try to clean this up. This is where the carrots are supposed to be. Whether or not there are any in here, I don't know. It looks like there's grass coming up, and we may not actually get any carrots this fall, which is disappointing. So I'm gonna try to put some more of those out, just because it's hard to tell if any of them are going to come up. Of course, you know, carrots take forever to germinate, but with all the stuff coming up in here, I'm a little bit worried. Some of these greens started to come up, and a lack of rain, they've sort of stopped. So I'm not sure if we'll get any of those either. I don't know what all these are, but they are not supposed to be here. They are weeds of some sort. So I have to get in here and pull a bunch of weeds out. So I can see there are actually some greens coming up over here. A lot of the weeds that had to be pulled out. All of these things are weeds here. But we do have some things coming in. These are spinach right here. These little things that look like grass in a row.
That's what we need, isn't it? Like these?
Some of the things are coming up, but like I said, with the lack of water, because we've had no rain, things are having a hard time. There's some stuff coming up over here. There's some morning glories. So we do have a few things coming up, and a whole lot of work that needs done. So I'm getting ready to cut the okra out. There's quite a bit on there that is way past eating stage, and there's some that is still good for eating. I have a friend who really likes okra, so I may harvest some for her.
That's a big one.
It is a big one.
And it's thick.
Yep.
That would be really
No, let's not knock any. The boys were trying to make their own boomerangs, and
it worked.
yeah, if you say so. So this is where our pumpkins were and are no longer. I have to get cover crop put out, but I want to pull out the rest of the tomatoes first so we can get that done. There's not a whole lot out here right now. It's still doing a little bit, but that's okay. We're okay with it not doing a ton right now. I do hope that in 6 weeks or so, we'll have some harvestable things, hopefully, some beet greens and some other greens. We should have radishes in a few weeks. So we'll have some things and it'll be good, right? Yep. I've been saving some of the zinnia flower heads. I'll order new zinnia flower seeds for the flower garden next year, but I'm hoping to put quite a few flowers out in the back field, and I figure save seeds would work perfectly well for that. And while I'm out here, I actually want to talk to you a little bit about flowers, among other things. I know I've talked to you before about how much I love flowers and how I wanted to grow so many flowers since I was a little girl. I just want to grow so many beautiful things. I have a big affection for flowers. I always have since I was small, and I've never been able to grow very many. Just these zinnias here are more flowers than I've been able to grow in most of my life due to moving a lot or living in the woods where a lot of things don't grow. As most of you know, I'm a face painter, and I love painting faces. It's a lot of fun, but it takes up so much summertime because it's pretty well not something... Hi, Jerry. It's pretty well not something that keeps me occupied a lot in the cooler months, but during festivals is whenever I find most of my work face painting. I enjoy it, and I'm not gonna lie, I do pretty well with it, but the garden and the farm aren't getting the attention they need because of face painting, and it puts me at a pretty big dilemma trying to figure out which way to go with what. Do I cut back on how much I face paint, or do I give up some of the farm? And this has been on my heart so much lately. It's causing me a lot of issues with trying to figure out what the next few years are going to look like for me. And that all coincides, of course. My daughter's 17. She's getting ready to start flight training to become a pilot, and she keeps the boys for me whenever I paint a lot of times. And which has been good for her pocketbook as well. But will she be around next summer? Because I don't know. So I think about these things and I tie all these things together and I start trying to figure out what I want to do and where I see myself. And I'm pulled, guys. I am seriously pulled. I am pulled because I know face painting is, it's a good way for me to save some extra money. It's been really good for me. I've met so many wonderful people face painting, and I have been blessed, seriously blessed, starting face painting. But the farm has been my dream for so long, and I feel like it needs some more attention. So where does that leave me? Won't be much longer, and we'll be moving the goats up here. We collected 2 more pieces of fence this year, so I'm hoping we can fence in this section that we fenced in last winter, and also maybe that section over there. And they should be pretty happy goats. These pullets over here, I keep waiting. They should start laying soon. They're about 4 months old now, a little more. So, and they're looking pretty good. Hey girls. Hey girls. So what I'm thinking is when we move the goats up here, we're going to put this chicken tractor inside the pen so that all the chickens can get used to each other. Can't figure out what to do with Jerry just yet. So I'm looking at ordering more flowers, guys. I'm going to start putting in more flowers and focusing on more farm things. We'll get the blueberries put in this fall and get that started. I don't know what else we'll get started on this fall and this winter, but I am going to put a little more time into the farm this year, and it may mean that I take a little bit of my time back from face painting. So for one thing, focusing mostly on festivals that Matt is off that weekend so he can keep the boys, because I have a feeling that's going to be an issue. And for another thing, just so I can put more time into this. Now, I won't be going to farmers markets to try to sell my flowers. I don't see me doing that. But I am going to be trying to reach out to some local florists and see what I can move. Starting kind of small, and then hopefully building up. Just like anything else. I'm also looking at possibly doing a CSA next year. My garden did pretty well this year. Had a few problems, but I have faith that I can still provide what I need for a CSA. So I won't do a lot of shares. I don't see me doing much more than 10, both full and half shares, and providing for, 10 families or whatnot. I'll expand a little bit on my garden, but I think I can do that. I will be succession planning a little bit closer due to that. And that means focusing more on my garden, which is something I struggle with because of face painting. So between the flowers and the possible CSA, hopefully I can get something going on the farm here, because we've been here for a couple years now, and it's time to do some things we've talked about, some things we've dreamed about. So it means a lot of work and a lot of prayer, guys. I have dreams and I have hopes, and I could use the prayer. I really could. Also, my husband could use some prayer, and my daughter could use some prayer. Because Isabel is working into becoming an adult, and finding her path in life. She could use some prayer that she's going in the right direction, that God just lets her know for sure that she has made the right choice. So that involves getting her medical examination for flight school soon, because we just want to make sure there's nothing that will hold her up in the future there. And that's something we'll just have to take care of. And all this talk about flight school and flying and airplanes has Matt thinking about the same thing. When he was 10, Matt went up in an airplane and has actually loved the idea of piloting ever since. But he never pursued it. And as you guys know, Matt travels back and forth for his job. He spends a lot of time away from home, and would love to be up here with the family, but has not been able to find a job that is anything comparable to what he has now. So he keeps doing it this way. Well, his place of employment voted in a new contract a couple of weeks ago, and his feelings on trying to stick it out because he would have a good retirement are pretty well non-existent now, because that good retirement's not going to be there. So he is gonna start thinking a little harder about finding something closer. And all this talk about piloting has really got him wishing that he could also go to flight school. Now, it would be a wonderful career change for him, something I think he would enjoy doing. He's never had the option to really choose what he wanted to do. And this is something he really wants to do. But finding a way to make it work, that's where we need the prayers, guys. How do you deal with 2 people in your home going to flight school? Because it's not cheap, guys. I want him to be able to do this so bad, and he keeps talking about it, and I know it's in his heart. It's really in his heart. So we may be trying to figure that out, and that could be interesting. So our family just could use your thoughts and prayers, and we really would appreciate it. Just pray that God shows us the right path, and that answers are easy to see, and we know for sure we're choosing the right path. It's a lot. It's a lot. This is a big crossroad in our life, I think. So, anyway, have a blessed week, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me.